the first time that I met Austin, it was lunch, it was break, and I got my food and I was heading back, and sort of walking back, sort of getting myself ready, and I'm sort of walking like this, and then out of the makeup room comes
Yeah.
Austin Butler, and he's in full hair, full costume, like everything going on, and we sort of cross paths like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
he's heading towards his trailer. He's surrounded by about three people, and when he walks out, and I spot him for the first time, it was like that.
It's like
Like
Elvis, right?
this,
It's like
this
literally.
whole this whole like field of energy just sort of I don't know what the word is like, just sort of
Yeah, like this aura about him. There was like this like
yeah,
energy, right? Like, yeah,
exactly,
you nailed it. Yeah.
sort of poured out from him. And when you were there and you sort of saw him, there was exactly this strong presence about him. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
really just captured you for a second, blew you away for a second. And he was walking into his trailer, and just sort of as he passes, he catches on the outside of his eye, he sees me, and he actually turned back around and starts heading towards me. And he comes up to me and he introduces, and he's got his accent on. He's got his accent on. He's like, "Oh, hi, I'm Austin. Like, it's so nice to meet you. And Baz has told me so much about you. I heard you play tennis. I heard, you he told me about, your experiences so far, how you did." And it was so like he took the time out of his day and his time to actually come up to me and talk to me and interact with me. You know what I mean? Which I think was one of the kindest things, that he could have done. And he took that time out of his day, and, we had a wonderful chat. And yeah, and then that was the first time that I met him. And yeah, there was just this presence about, like, I cannot explain it enough, that there was just this full presence about him, that it was just like that was Elvis. You know what I mean? Almost the same feeling that you get when you sort of watch him on camera, where you're
Yeah.
like, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It's
so I ran into him a couple more times, and then I think it was at the premiere, so a year and a half later, that I ran into him again at the Gold Coast premiere. I remember Helen was talking to you about it, I think. And so yeah, that's why I ran to Austin again, and he spotted me again, and he was like, "Oh, Chaydon," and he just came up and he gave me this huge hug and just fully embraced me. You know what I mean? And he was such a heartwarming person. You know what I mean? And he's just so kind. You know what I mean? And he's just an absolute gem of a person, if you
yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean.
that's like the common denominator in every conversation I've had with anyone that's worked with Austin or has been around him is that he's just a genuine kind soul. And I think that comes across on screen where he's playing this character that's going through these feelings and just going through so much different evolution of himself as Elvis in the movie. And I think it's great that a leading man like him just takes the time out of his day to speak to everyone on set and create that family. And I love that about Austin Butler. And I think it's interesting how you kind of brought up how you kind of met him a year and a half later at the Gold Coast premiere, but now you're not really meeting Elvis, you're meeting Austin. No longer he's got the black hair, the voice. Was it a little, okay, is this, do you get what I mean? Was it a little big of a change for
Yeah,
you personally speaking to
I, I,
Austin the
I get what
man?
you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, his hair was the way that he normally wears it. He's got such cool hair as well. But
Oh,
no, I mean, the presence was still there, 100%. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? It was definitely way more, just heartfelt and heartwarming to be able to see him again. And I was like a foot taller when he's and so, but yeah, but I think there was still 100% that presence about him. You know what I mean? Where everything just sort of seemed to circulate, around him. You know what I mean? And I think for someone to be able to do that and learn how to do that, I think you know also signifies their amount of talent, experience, and
Yeah.
dedication towards
Mm-hmm.
the for sure.